Hi, Aries. Oh no, the black and white video. Okay, so listen. Mars is in your sign right now, and it's making you go pretty fast in every direction. But then things are going to screech to a halt, and you're going to want to keep going. You're going to want to push. And if you don't stop yourself, a few things can happen. Your own doing, your own words, your will pushing too hard, that can cause some permanent damage in your relationships. So you got to be real careful right now about, well, about what you let slip. First card out, the Knight of Pentacles. If you are dealing with an earth sign, especially someone who is being really, really slow, be careful how you speak to them. Be careful what your communication with them is like. If you are dealing with someone who is being slow in terms of money, if this is money that's being held back from you, if a money thing is moving too slow, don't push, because it's not going to help. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowing down, the pulling back. It is Mars leaving your sign, and then all of a sudden everything gets muted and subdued, and you're not wanting that because you pick up momentum, right? And so by the time Mars is leaving your sign, you've picked up so much momentum and so much speed. The last thing you want is this Knight of Pentacles energy. The last thing you want is to be slowed down, because to you, being slowed down is going to feel like a screeching halt, even though it's not. And the reason it's black and white this time is because at the end of the month, we have that wonderful 12th house sun. So it's time to dream. It's time to focus in a different way. It's time to flirt and fall in love and, you know, meet the people and say the things. So let's look here. We have the Page of Swords and the Empress. So again, being really careful and communicating from a place of feeling magnanimous and confident, secure, abundant. And again, this is the surety of the abundance and money situation working out, just taking a little bit of time, like the harvest takes time to bloom or ripen, however you want to say it. And then we have the Nine of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. So you are going to come to a place, or we would hope we get to a place where instead of rushing in circles, you know, just chasing your own tail because you want to keep this momentum going, even though it's time to pull back a little and rest before your season, you go from that running in circles, Two of Pentacles, looping energy, to the Nine of Cups. So Two of Pentacles energy here really representing the Aquarius season for you, where you're just going kind of back and forth, which some signs can get stuck during Aquarius season in the looping. So it's really up to you, you know, if you want to indulge in that. What I would suggest is when you feel yourself indulging in it, when you start to feel that coming on, like, oh, I'm beginning to loop about something and it's really not good for me. Like I can feel myself getting stuck in that space. For you, I can see that being, you know, why isn't it happening quicker? Why isn't this happening now? Why isn't this person, a lot of you will want to like run away from situations because you're like, well, this isn't moving fast enough, or it's, I'm moving too fast to deal with this right now, and you're just taking up too much space in my head. Like, you want to propel forward. And there are going to be questions this month about what that means. Some people want you to propel forward in a different way. The Empress, by her very nature, implies that there is an emperor. And so you may have questions being asked of you about commitment, marriage, deepening of a relationship. And either you're the one asking and saying, let's go, 1,000 miles per hour, let's go full speed ahead, or someone is asking you, well, what do you want to do now? Where is this going between us now? And you loop and you loop, and then we come to Pisces season, and you have this 9 of Cups energy wash over you, and then the bottom of the deck, 2 major arcana here, the Judgment card and the Sun. So the Sun coming into that 12th house and giving you the space, the dreaminess, the Piscean energy, the 12th house freedom to say what needs to be said, but be very careful. You are going to feel this really deep. You're going to want to tell people what you think. And you're running a huge risk this month of cutting too deep. You've got to let yourself slow down at the end of February. Right at that full moon, just tell yourself, like, okay, Aries, it's time to stop. Give yourself until the full moon, from now until February 19th, to just go full speed ahead. Do it. Do whatever you need to do. Keep going. Push harder. Work more. Sleep less. Whatever you got to do. But as soon as you get to the 19th, as soon as the Sun moves into your 12th house, chill. Pull back. Take it easy. Chill. You need it. Because then your season is going to come in. And when your season comes in, it's time to work. Really. It is time to work. 3 of Wands, 6 of Cups, and the Fool. Fantastic. I love it. It's time to work. 3 of Wands, that fire energy. It's time to push forward. Okay? 6 of Cups, towards that which is destined, towards that which is your heart's desire, towards that which means the most to you. And to do so with that most Aries of cards. There's your cliff. There's that whole I'm first, I am energy. You begin your new year in Pisces season. It's funny because, of course, you guys would be early. You start your season in the season before you because there is this beautiful synergy between Pisces and Aries, whereas a lot of signs are such reactions to each other. And Aries and Pisces are reactions to each other as well. But there is this beautiful feeding that happens because everything resets with Aries, right? So Pisceans have 12th house energy for everyone. That's just their energy. But especially for Aries, because you are the beginning of the clock. So you are the template, right? And the 12th house energy, you just take it and you use it as the fuel that you need, but you just have to be really careful towards the end of the month that you are not using that fuel in the wrong way and saying too much, being too sharp, especially, I would say, especially in the second week of February. You just need to be really, really careful how you're talking to people, and I would just keep a lot more to yourself. Get done the things you need to get done that don't necessarily require a lot of collab or being out there in the world. And then after the Sun comes into Pisces, then Aries, you have such an amazing thing going on here. Such an amazing progression, step by step by step, into feeling more and more like yourself, regenerating from the year before, rehashing what's been going on, and stepping into your season, ready. It's really cool. It's a very no-nonsense kind of, here's what it is, here's what you need to do. It's very clear, it's very direct, very Aries energy. If you're cross-watching for an Aries, let's do that. Because the Aries readings go by so quick. The information just comes, boom, there it is. We're 10 minutes in. So let's do cross-watchers so you guys don't feel like I'm just rushing through your reading. Sometimes it's a funny criticism. Like Libras will criticize their reading and say, oh, she's messing with her hair too much. Aries will criticize their reading and say, oh, she rushed through our reading. Scorpios will criticize their reading and say, oh, she's being too harsh. Virgos will criticize their reading and say, oh, she's being too critical. Geminis don't criticize their reading, but they'll all say, she's wild. Cancers be like, damn, your reading had me in my feels. She's all in her feels. So it's like, I think you know what I'm getting at, right? Aquarians are like, oh, she's so distant. She doesn't want to connect with us. So, Tauruses don't really complain about the reading, but they just be wondering why it takes so long and why it's so slow. And I'm like, you know, Leos be like, why are we first though? We're never first though. Nobody cares about us. So, anyway, having said all of that, because the reading goes by so quickly, because the information comes in so good, I mean, it's great for me, but I think you guys sometimes feel like shortchanged. So let's see, for the cross watchers, if you're dealing with an Aries, realize that they're grappling with some big questions. They're trying to figure out if they want to commit or if they want to run away. They're dealing with, in a lot of ways, what Scorpio is dealing with this month, so you may want to go excuse me, check out the Scorpio video, because they are also being asked to please not pop off this month. Please keep the harsh criticism to yourself. You're going to have your sword out, Page of Swords here as well, and you want to use it. And for certain things you should, but it's just so clear that this Judgment card, this energy is going to come in, and it's not just going to be the things you say, but it's going to be a karmic balancing. And I just want you to be on the right side of it. So if you're cross-watching for an Aries, they're going through some things, and if you push them, they're going to be really rude to you. And if you push them and they're really rude to you, you stand to lose a pretty important business contact, something that has to do with money, something that has to do with progress forward, and all these opportunities that are kind of on the other side of whether or not you pop off towards the end of the month. Because if you can get into Pisces season without losing it, we skip over that. We take, you know, a different road. So if you love an Aries, try to give them some space this month, especially towards the end of the month. Hit them up after the 20th, you know, and hang out with them. But before that, kind of just make excuses like, no, I'm busy. No, I can't. Just to, you know, and that's kind of weird, because you might be facilitating them popping off by avoiding them. So maybe you're just, it'll be easier to just be like, here, watch this video. You're going to pop off towards the end of the month, and I don't want to be around for it because I don't want to lose my relationship with you. Because Aries will want to, there's like a pent up kind of thing here that wants to get out. If you're dealing with an earth sign, Aries, or someone who has heavy earth placements, someone who is very, very abundant, the Empress energy, and you're just trying to find a way to communicate with them because the communication is so slow, and Two of Pentacles, you just don't know, realize that towards the end of the month, this Nine of Cups energy comes in, really without you doing much. So you'll feel it kind of wash over you, like second week of February, you're like, okay, I'm starting to feel better. And then as you start to feel better, you start to pick up real momentum, and then you want to keep rushing, and then all of a sudden it's time to stop and rest. And, you know, the Aries nature goes, no, but I just got going. Like, come on. Like, let me run a little. And the card is like, yeah, run, but do it, you know, do it in the abstract and just walk off that cliff. And now what does that mean? It means that you should channel all this energy, Mars and Aries, into your work. Don't get caught up in the personal stuff right now because, like I said, your tongue is razor sharp. Do the work. And if you feel stifled in your work, like you're trying to take one road and it's just Knight of Pentacles, slow, not going, you're not getting what you need, you're not getting the money you need, everything is being held up, find a different road. Do something else in the meantime. Three of Wands, find a new way. The Sun, that Leo energy, focus on the self and find a new way. Use your authenticity to find a way out of what seems like a bind, but it's not really. It's just redirecting you to something. And that other stuff is going to clear up anyway. It's just not time yet. It needs a couple of weeks still. So in the meantime, you can focus Three of Wands, Six of Cups on something maybe you like to do when you were a kid. Something that would just take you in a totally different direction. Be really bold. Be really brave. Use the time before the rest period, before your season comes in, to just play a little bit. Two of Pentacles is also a card associated with play. Nine of Cups is a card of great contentment, great abundance. The Empress is a card of great abundance. The Sun is great abundance. The Fool is a playful card, like the Two of Pentacles. The Six is two children, also very playful. So, big themes here of like returning to the Aries innocence, not letting the Aries speed get the best of you, knowing when to pull back, embracing when the Sun goes into Pisces, the Sun card there, respecting that it's time to rest, respecting your need for rest, respecting that Two of Pentacles, sometimes the rest has to do with your mind and not with the physical, right? And then the Three of Wands, being brave, finding a new way, making your own opportunity, making your own new direction, your own destiny. And then the things that are being held up, they start to clear up on their own, as is often the case when Aries takes their energy off something, because your energy is so focused and so strong that it can get in your own way. Good? I even talk faster in the Aries videos. It's wild. The other part of the video will be in color. And you'll get to see all your cards, and we'll talk about the lunations. Loves yous. So muches. You know this.
Hi, Aries. I think I've been shaking the table when I was shuffling the cards before, so I'm sorry about that in the other videos. So if you're watching some other video and you're like, man, the table's really shaking, sorry. All right, here we are. Things are moving slow, but as long as you communicate properly, especially with those who you wish to communicate with, but you feel like somehow it's not working out right now, trust the slowness. I know that's difficult. Don't get stuck in a loop. Also difficult not to do in Aquarius season. Contentedness and a time to talk is coming. After the Sun moves into your 12th house, or into Pisces, into your subconscious, however you want to put it, your vision for your new year becomes clear to you. And this new year is all about your relationships, how you feel about people. And it will start a cycle in which you will be asked to take great risks and be the daring, courageous person that you are. It's a very good reading. There is a lot of success indicated here, and it has to do with bravery. It has to do with you coming through. It has to do with trying to understand that even patience is a way of doing. Patience is a way of coming through in the clutch. Patience is an action. Can be an action. And it is through your actions and your greater understanding of your actions that make the last half of the last third of the month incredible. You walk into March feeling really, really, really good. Feeling a new sense of worth. Having used everything to your advantage to make you that much better at relationships. You've learned where the mistakes were actually gifts, lessons. You realize how much that risk, although painful, added to you in the past, and therefore you were able to take the risk again. Now, when it comes to other stuff, money-wise, like I said, don't rush. Friendship-wise, if you feel like some people are too close-minded to hang out with, just give them a little room. No need to judge them. Other than that, I think there is a tendency to get caught in your head in this season, and you might do so in the second week just for a little while until that good news starts coming in. So if you want to indulge that, that's fine, but just realize that it's just a blip. All right, Aries, I'll see you in just a second in your extended, yeah? Love you. Bye.